I think every person at some point in their gardening life goes about trying to start a compost, right? But then the thing about composting is it becomes another job all in itself. So you're gardening, then you got to remember the compost. You got to turn the compost to where at some point in the year, you either two things happen. You lose the time to manage it, which means something happens in life, right? Life happens. Few rainy weeks or a job, you have to catch a few extra hours. Any little thing like that actually stops the compost or deactivates it, the composting process. And then one day you come home, and of course you're a gardener at heart, so one day you come home and it's a little tomato growing up, and you like, oh, I got a tomato I didn't even plant, it just came up out the compost. Or some other kind of plant came up, or a watermelon seed came up, and you stop turning, right? You can't turn, because if you keep turning, you're gonna kill that little beautiful seedling that's coming up. So that kills all the composting processes that you are trying to undertake. So that's what happened here. I think we was composting in place. When I took the garden out last fall, I actually put everything in here, put a couple of bags of soil on top of it, and I was like, I'm gonna get this bed ready for spring. But then when spring came around, I said, nah, I'm gonna save this bed, I'm gonna just let it do its thing, and I'm gonna compost everything in place and get this bed ready for fall. And then the tomatoes start popping up. Then the Malabar spinach, look how big. I got Malabar spinach around to the front of the house, and the leaves are nowhere as big as these. So another question you ask is, should I eat out of my compost? Because all these things are eggshells, spoiled tomatoes and banana peels, everything's degrading. And you start to question yourself, can I eat out of this? Well, I've ate potatoes out of the compost. I've ate tomatoes out of the compost. Malabar spinach out of the compost. You see these little tomatoes? One thing I noticed about tomatoes, when you buy, we don't even have any tomatoes like this on property. So that tells you about the hybrid stuff. Sometimes you buy the tomatoes out the store, and then you throw them in a compost. And I always see these little tomatoes coming out of my compost. But we never have these. And I move the compost around, so I know it's not the same ones coming each year. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna see what we got. I got some bitter melon up in here. We're gonna see some of the things we got, and then we're gonna try to harvest some of this composted material that we've gotten some growth out of. So come on, let's go check it out. All right, so I got my bucket. I'm not gonna harvest the Malabar spinach leaves, but you can see here, this is an avocado that's came up on its own, not planted, not with the putting the avocado seed in water and all that. Put it in some compost, put it in the ground, it should sprout for you. So we got some of these little tomatoes. I actually ate some yesterday. This is what I call the volunteer patch. Let me get something to put these in. On the back side, I want y'all to see what's going crazy this year. These are some plum seeds that we put in. They're starting to germinate. But what's going crazy is this volunteer bitter melon. Let's see if I can get something to put this in. Let me get my cutters. I don't want to pull the vine too much. But yeah, this is compost. Actually, after a while, I had some cassava cuttings left over, and I was like, man, put it in a compost. And actually, it worked. But look at those bitter melons that are just going crazy. Look at the size of them. Another one right behind it. That one's gonna start coming out. So let me move this one out the way. And these little shears get on my nerves. But they cost me like $1. So if Bells was here, it'd be bitter melon and eggs for breakfast, but she's not. So we're gonna look in. This is like a jungle. Bitter melon jungle. So you see the tomato plants are all around, and the bitter melon vines, I've actually been taking them. They've been trying to run like those. We've actually been taking them, just throwing them back over to stay out of my walkway. Yesterday I saw this one. I said I'm gonna wait till today to harvest it. Hate sticking my hands down into this what I can't see. But I got it. Get that out of here. If the easiest way to harvest bitter melon seeds is to, I found, is you leave it on the vine, and one day it explodes and it shows these red seeds inside. Like, you don't have to do anything, but just leave it on the vine till it explodes open, and then you have seeds. So we got 3 bitter melons, a lot of tomatoes that are ripening. Like I said, a lot of this Malabar spinach. I'm sure I don't want to pull these vines, this stuff too much. Pull some of this grass out the side. Keep that from seeding inside that bed when I am ready to plant. Me and grass do not get along, but I know they're necessary. So let me see if I can get in here and see anything else that might be hiding. We had some watermelon was coming up at one time, but looks like it's gotten shaded out. I see another plum tree coming up. Look down, deep down. Let me go on the other side, get a better look. So can you eat out of your compost? I say yes. Of course, I have to give the disclaimer, consult your doctor or whatever, you know how they make us give disclaimers so if somebody sue you. The Malabar spinach is actually about to start growing the seed. Malabar is one thing that once you plant it, you basically never have to plant it again. So find like a dedicated spot for it. They're really like, kind of like eating okra to me. That little gelatinous, squishy type feel. But that's it. I don't see anything else up in there beside those tomatoes as far as something that's ripe and ready. But it looks like it's going to be a good year for bitter melon that we didn't plant. But Bev's actually, I'm sure, bought it from some Asian market and is actually doing well. So thank y'all for watching Louisiana Gardening Family, and as always, grow, grow, grow. Even got a little melon around here that's coming out of this bucket. Look at that. I'm going to the watermelon patch. Meet me there. Peace.